Welcome to the 5th episode of the Sub 220 Marathon Project video series, a series of weekly videos documenting my own journey leading into the Berlin Marathon 2022, where I'll be attempting to break the 2 hour, 20-minute barrier in Berlin in 7 weeks from today. A huge thank you to those that have tuned into the first 4 episodes, and I'm really appreciating the comments and more specifically the questions that are coming through the YouTube channel and through the social media accounts as well. And it's always a highlight of my week to read those comments and more specifically the questions, of which I'll answer my 3 favorite ones very soon. And after that, I'll go through the training week. That is the 5th week of the marathon specific training block. That includes a 10K time trial, of which we've got some footage to show you of that after going through the training week. But as always, before I do answer the favorite questions of the week, I want to thank the sponsors of this video series that are making it happen. The main sponsor of this video series is Soar Running, based in the UK, which I've been wearing their gear pretty much every single day leading into the Berlin Marathon. And as mentioned before, I am a huge fan of Soar, mainly just their extremely comfortable gear. It's very, very good in the heat when there's heavy sweating going on. And I also just like the design of the gear as well. So I'm a massive fan of Soar. And if you haven't yet checked out Soar's range of training gear, which doesn't only include hot weather training gear, it's also, there's some very advanced technical apparel in the winter section as well. So I recommend you go and check out Soar's website that you can find in the description of this video. The second sponsor of this video series is Top 4 Running, one of Europe's biggest online running retail stores that are supplying me with all of the shoes that I'm training in leading into the Berlin Marathon 2022. I've been lucky enough to have been sent a lot of shoes to test, and in probably the 7th episode or the 8th, just after I try all of the shoes that Top 4 Running have actually sent to me to test out, I'm going to be doing a shoe review to give my opinion on my favorite trainers, my favorite races, and just to obviously give a review of all of the shoes that I've tried. So that's coming very soon. But do check out Top 4 Running's website, and you can score a further discount on their already very low prices on all the top brands and models by using the code SWEATELITE. You can find the link to Top 4 Running and the code in the description of this video. Before diving into the details of the training week, I will share my 3 favorite questions of the week that have come through the YouTube channel comments. The first one's a really good question, and it actually made me think quite a bit about the question itself. From a mental standpoint, is it nerve-wracking to adjust paces so much to factor in your current altitude and weather, and then trust that you'll be ready on race day? There's a little bit more to this question, but then the end part I'll summarize. Will you do any workouts at sea level to reassure yourself, or will you just trust the process? So this is a great question. And honestly, it is a thought in the back of my mind that if you're not used to running the paces that you're going to be running on race day, of which my goal time is 2:19, which is a 5:19 per mile or 3:19 per kilometer. If all of the marathon specific work is done 10 seconds per kilometer or 15 seconds per mile slower than that, whereas that's obviously roughly the same effort in this altitude and in this heat, is it a concern of mine that I'm going into the race having not done a lot at that pace? To be honest, a little bit, but at the same time, there's not a lot I can do. I'm currently living here and based here. The effort is the same. The heart rates, even though I don't really take heart rate too much, I can tell effort-wise it is more or less going to be the same. Rick Raz, my coach, actually does do a lot of speed work. And when I say speed work, I mean VO2 max, sort of 5K, 10K pace work. So it's not like I would be going into the Berlin Marathon having not done anything at that pace or faster. Every week we're doing quite a lot of work, well, at least one workout at significantly faster than that pace. So there is that factor as well that I am used to running 5K, 10K pace every single week. But ultimately that is a really good question, and it made me think. And I have had that concern honestly before, but at the end of the day, there's not a lot I can do about it. I did prepare for my marathon PB, which is 2:20 at Indianapolis Marathon last year in Boulder as well. But with that said, that was in November, and most of the hard workouts were in September and October, where it's quite a lot cooler. I was doing my long runs at 20 degrees Fahrenheit, cooler than this, 10, 12 degrees cooler Celsius, so that made them a lot easier. But yeah, it's a great question, and I appreciate that question coming my way. The second one, Do you do some of your runs fasted, and what do the Kenyans tend to do? So I do a lot of runs fasted. There's pros and cons to eating before every workout or fasting. There's really no clear answer as to what is the best way to do this. I just tend to feel better on easy runs when I haven't eaten before. I tend to wake up and have a coffee. I'm a heavy runner, and I do try and shed a few pounds leading into the race like most other people, and I do find that my weight comes down a little quicker naturally. I don't force this, and I don't think anyone should force this process if I do runs fasted. With that said, if it's a hard workout and I know that I'm going to be at threshold for 30 minutes or more, I'll definitely take some carbs in before. That might be a banana, it might be bread, it might be just a carbohydrate drink. I'm honestly not very strict about this, but yes, I do probably 5 days a week fasted, 4 or 5, which is all the recovery runs, easy runs up to 10, 12 miles. And you shouldn't be running out of carbohydrates in that sort of run. But yes, so to answer the question, I do most runs fasted, I would say, but the long hard runs and the long track sessions, I do try and take some carbohydrates before those workouts. What do the Kenyans do? Pretty much the same, but then the Kenyans don't all do the same thing, obviously. So some of them will have a banana before a workout, some of them won't. But I found, based on most of the ones, the Kenyans that I spoke to, Ethiopians as well for that matter, they do tend to wake up and not have anything before runs. But if it is a long run, they typically will have a banana or a slice of bread. It's super simple over there. I haven't really seen them eat anything other than those two things, and tea and coffee. But yeah, I think pretty much the same as me. They'll do 4 or 5 days a week fasted, and the really long, hard, specific sessions when they know they're going to need carbs towards the end. They're going to need to be topped up on their carbohydrate storages leading into the run. Then they will consume something beforehand. Question number 3: why do you wear alpha flies in your long run? Don't you get injured from wearing them all the time? Now, that's a good question, because I actually developed Achilles tendonitis in the first few months of 2020, and I dealt with it for about a year, and it got very, very bad to the point where I was wondering if I wanted to keep running. Because when you've been running in pain every single day for a year or more, you do start to wonder why you do it. And I believe that I actually picked up this tendonitis because I shifted from using normal Pegasus and Vomeros, Nike Pegasus and Vomeros, which is a regular trainer, to the 4% at the time. No, sorry, the next percents at the time. And I started using them 3 or 4 times a week because they just felt so good. They were so fast. I was preparing for a marathon in Japan at the time, and I believe I picked up Achilles tendonitis at right around the time that I shifted from using them all the time. So I think that definitely is a risk for some. And I only use alpha flies or super shoes once a week at most. If I know I'm going to be using them in a long run, I'll tend to do the track session in something that's not doesn't have a carbon fiber plate or the Zoom X foam or the similar with the other brands. And I do have a few pairs of flats, the on-running ones, which I can't remember the name of them right now. But there's a couple of other shoes that I've been wearing in training that are not, that do not have the carbon fiber plate. So I try to use them at maximum once a week, and I've found that that has kept the Achilles tendonitis or any other injuries at bay for that matter. I think that some long runs you should be using the super shoes just purely because you're going to race in them and you want to get used to them. But I do think some other long runs, maybe when they're not supposed to be hard, because we do, I think I said this in another video, every other week we do an easier long run that might include some hills or a fasted long run where we're actually purposely depleting ourselves of carbs. That's a whole other topic we'll talk about another time. In those runs I won't wear super shoes. So I appreciate the questions coming our way this week. Okay, so a summary of the training week that is the 5th week of the 12-week marathon specific training block. I had a really good week of training this week. Everything basically went to plan, and I had a 10K time trial on Friday, of which is the second half of this video. You'll see the video footage from that. But I'll go through the training very quickly. On Sunday, I had an 11.26 mile run, of which I did very easy at 8:05 per mile, which is a little bit slower than 5 minutes per kilometer. No long run this Sunday because on the Friday I had the long run that you saw in the previous video that was at quite a quicker pace towards the end. So still basically recovering from that. On Monday, 10 miles at 7:10 pace. Really felt like I was well recovered at that point from the Friday's effort. On Tuesday, I had a great track workout I was really happy with. The workout was originally going to be 1,600 meters, 6 by 600, 200, and then 1,600 meters. So as you can probably tell by looking at some of these track workouts I'm sharing, Rick likes to do 1,600 meter efforts at the start and the end of track workouts, of which he calls bookends, which are basically like a short tempo effort. Now I did 2 1,600 meters at the start of this workout. I asked Rick last minute if I could join Nell in her workout. She had 3 by a mile, I believe from memory, and I did her first 2. She was progressing in pace. So when I was warming up with Nell, I asked her what she was doing, and I asked Rick if I could do 2 by 1,600 meters to add a little bit more volume, and he approved. So 2 by 1,600 meters, of which they were in 5:18 and 4:59, 2 minutes rest between them, and then 6 sets of 600, 200, of which was supposed to be quite fast. No specific times in mind, but I ran them all around 1:39. The first one, 1:42, just to sort of work into it. So that's 66, 65 through the 400, and I guess that's 2:45 per kilometer, or a little quicker than 4:30 per mile pace. And then the 1 minute rest between the 600s, straight into a 200, of which they were all in 31 and 32. And between sets around 2 minutes. I think there was a couple of them were slightly more. And then at the end, another 1,600 meters in 4:59, of which I ran with Lauren. Lauren had an 800 time trial and joined me in my last 1,600 meters in 4:59. And I felt really good in that workout. It wasn't too difficult. On the Wednesday, I did 2 runs. I woke up actually pretty tired from that workout, even though it didn't feel too hard. So I did 2 shorter runs as opposed to a longer run. Typically I do 10 to 12 miles on the other days, but I did 2 shorter runs totaling almost 12 miles, so 5.93 in the morning, 5.66 in the evening. On Thursday, 10 miles at 7:24 pace. And then on Friday, the 10K time trial, which was a great run. I was really happy with this. Going into it, I thought to myself, at this point, 7 weeks out from a marathon, I'd like to be probably in 31 flat shape or 30 high shape for 10K. You know, factor in the things such as we're not tapering down for this at all. We're running it as a training session. It's very hot. We knew the conditions were going to be very warm, altitude, all that stuff. We decided to shoot for 32:30. We figured that would be around the same effort. Who knows if it actually is, but at the end of the day, that's just what we decided. And I ran 32:31. Quite even, went through the halfway in 16:15. Our first mile was a little bit slower, but we actually planned for that. I ran this with Lauren Goss, who ran 32:45, which is a huge run by her, given her PR is 31:49, I believe. So converted, if she went to sea level and race in cooler conditions, I'm sure she'd be well ahead of that. Yeah, so you can see the splits on the screen. I was really happy with that run. It was exactly what I planned to do. In the last mile, you'll see the footage of this in the second half of this video. I was really struggling towards the end. I don't think that was necessarily struggling aerobically. It was more that I was so hot. I was even a little bit dizzy when I stopped, just due to losing so much fluid. But yeah, really happy with that. And then the rest of the week, so that afternoon I did a 5 mile or 4.99 miles. Obviously I Strava rounded me down. Run in the afternoon, just a recovery run. And then on Saturday, 2 runs totaling a little over 10 miles, so 5.98 in the morning and 5.31 in the evening, both between 7 and 8 minute pace. And yeah, that's the week in training. So the total was 90 miles or 146 kilometers, which I mean, there's been a few weeks that have been pretty much the same as that in this training block, but it is the biggest week I've done in quite some time, and pretty much everything went to plan. So I was really happy with the training week. Couldn't have asked for anything more. And I hope that you enjoy this footage from the 10K time trial that took place on Friday with Lauren Goss and a few other friends jumping in and out of the 10K as well. So I hope you enjoy it. All right, so it's 7:30. We're getting warmed up for a 10K time trial this morning. We're just doing a little recce of the loop to show Max here, who is going to drop in and out of the time trial, because there's a section in the middle here that you can cut through. So he's going to do roughly 800 meter reps, and Lauren, who will join us in a moment, will try and do the whole thing, but she's hoping to get through at least 6K, 7K, but if she's feeling good, we'll go the whole way. And the target it was really tricky to determine the target actually, because we're at altitude,
It's warm. It's 23, 24 degrees, 75 Fahrenheit. The altitude itself, according to calculators and all different NCAA standards, is around a minute 10 to a minute 20 slower up here. And then the heat is another thing. So if we can go 32:30, that would be great, but honestly under 33 would probably be pretty good for me. So Max, oh no, sorry, that's not it.
That's the next one.
Next one. Yeah. So I figure a 32 high will probably be equal to a 31 low at sea level in good conditions. So that would be good. It's been a heavy week of training. It'll be another 85, 90 mile week. No cutback in.
Going left?
So we're not going to go left, but that's where you will go.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to come through here, and you're just going to go straight back there. You should finish your 800 just there, pretty much close to this corner, and then you just got to jog 100, 200 meters.
Perfect.
To the start. So we're doing it in reverse. All right. So 6 laps of a little over a mile. So it'll make 6.2 miles, 10k, and yeah, it'll be a good indicator to see how where we're at. And yeah, so we're going to set out at 5:20 mile pace. I forgot to mention, we're going to make it slightly progressive. So start out, let's go on this other road. Around 5:20 mile pace, 320 per k, and try and pick it up from there. That was Rick's instructions. I guess just to err on the side of caution with the altitude and heat, because if we're feeling it halfway or after 4 miles, 6k, we'll try and hold that to run sort of 33 low. So let's see how we go. So I was really debating this morning whether to wear, because I'm a huge Alpha Fly fan, also Vaporfly, I like them both, but I probably lean more towards the Alpha. But Top for Running, one of the sponsors of the videos, I mentioned in a previous video, sent me a few shoes to test to see sort of what I, give some feedback, I guess. And the Adios Pro 3s, which is a fairly new racer, is one that a few of my friends in the UK have really liked. So I put them on just before, I did 2 strides, and they feel really good. I mean, I wouldn't normally advise jumping straight into a race. I mean, this is obviously not a race, it's a time trial. I wouldn't do this in a race without trying them before or wearing them in, but I'm gonna take a risk here and jump straight into this time trial, having run a total of 200 meters in these shoes. But the 2 short strides I did felt great. They don't feel quite as springy as the Alpha Fly, but I'll give a full review after the 10k. But yeah, give them a go. What are you going with, Lauren?
I'm gonna wear the Alpha Flies. I never train in the Alpha Flies. I usually save them for race day, but this is a race.
What do you normally wear? I haven't even really taken notice in the track workouts.
I'm usually wearing the Asics Metaspeed Sky.
That's right, yeah.
And track. I save these for the really hard ones. So here we go.
Okay, here we go. A little nervous for this one. Just haven't done anything like this in a while. I'm really hoping Lauren can go the full distance. Lauren, I really hope you can go the full distance.
No pressure though.
No pressure.
I'll take you the last mile.
Thank you.
Regardless if I don't, I'm gonna be there the last mile. So
Yeah, me too.
I'm gonna do the last mile with
So
you.
we hope the first K is
If
around.
I fail, it means I sit out mile 5.
Okay.
And I jump in 6.
Okay.
Yay.
We hope the first mile's 5:20, first K is 3:20. That's 33:20 pace, and then we hope to pick it up from there. So, as I said before, Rick would like it a little bit progressive. So, let's hope that we can do
The
that.
altitude conversion of 31.
All right, guys, let's get rolling.
Is 31:07.
You're gonna jump in the second lap, Christina.
What's your PB?
Okay.
31:49.
We'll be back here in about 5.5 minutes.
Yes, you're in PB shape. Fucking line.
Although I think I'm faster
Thank you.
on the road than track.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Who's leading the first mile?
Max.
Oh, fuck.
Let him know as we start. Yeah.
Sorry.
Those Alpha Flies, huh? Thanks, Max.
Yeah.
Cool, we went through the K and pretty much right on 320. That's good.
5:19.
5:19, first mile.
I can do this myself.
Work, Max.
10:31.
Okay.
16, 14, 5K. Nice job, guys. Keep it up.
Come on, Lauren. Stay on it. One left to go.
Let's go, Matt. Finish it, dude.
Oh, God. 32, 31.
Right on target.
Yeah, come on, Lauren. Nice one. Good job. Oh man, it's so hot. I'm really happy with that. The last K was a little slow, I think. We'll have a look in a minute, but that was good. Good job, Lauren.
Yeah, but then I held you.
Yeah, 32:45. So you're 32:31.
I ended like,
It's fucking sick.
but I ended here. You ended there.
Yeah.
The GPS.
Yeah.
Dude,
Fuck yes.
15.
What is it?
15.7.
You guys, that was my PR. Thank you, Molly and Pia.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I wouldn't have made it.
You would've.
I wouldn't have made it.
What was it? 32.
Got it. That was a hell of an effort, man.
15.
Let's see.
8.8.
8.8. That's awesome. Nice work.
Yeah, so definitely happy with that. I thought going into it 32:30 would be probably my limit. Like, I didn't think I could go any faster than that, and I was going to be pretty content with 32 high, 32:50 or 40 something. But through halfway felt surprisingly good. I think it was 16. It's pretty much even. I think it was like 16:15, 16:15 around. But the first K or two was a bit slower, so it was progressed just as we'd liked. So obviously up here at this altitude in this heat, it's going to slow down a bit. We are drenched in sweat.
This is unreal.
It is hot. I mean,
It's humid.
there's definitely a psychological benefit to getting used to pushing through these conditions. So
You're making some noises, man. That was good.
I was in trouble in the last half mile. I think I worked out at 9k that if I keep this pace, I'll go like 32:26, and so I obviously lost 5 seconds in the last k.
It took you a while to with like between 800 and 600 to go. That was
Well, that hill, I don't know if you call it a hill. It's not really a hill, but it
Well,
definitely
it's
is a
enough
rise.
to- it's
On the
enough
last lap, that hurt me.
well, you fell off and then you came back on and then you came out strong.
Yeah.
That's an 800 speed.
Yeah.
I barely hit 335.
Thanks for coming out, Nate. Lauren, reflection on your TT. Thank you. I've got one.
Well, that was my best time of my life. My best race of my life.
That was the best. You reckon? I mean, that is a good result.
32:45 at altitude. Yeah, my PR is 31:49 on the track.
Yeah, that's. Yeah.
But I
that's
felt
probably
like
better.
I felt really bad the first mile, which is expected. I did 0 strides.
Yeah.
Second mile felt amazing. Third mile felt amazing. Fourth mile felt amazing, and then boom, end of fourth mile I was dead. But I got really nauseous. That heat makes me feel nauseous.
Yeah,
It seems like once you fell off, like you held the gap.
Yeah.
Like you didn't fall off any further.
Yeah, I needed to stay at. We were on pace, and I needed to stay at 5:15, and I think Matt picked it up a little.
I did for a bit through 7th and 8th K, but then I
Exactly.
died.
So Matt dropped me, but then I held my own. I had some self-talk there.
Yeah.
I was like, "Don't be a pussy, bitch." And then Molly and Bria jumped in and did a K with me
Oh, nice.
because I was
Very nice.
begging them, like, please.
They did half the K.
They
Thanks
did.
for following along.
Yeah, it was fun. That was awesome. I
We've got
never
10
want to
mile
do that
time
again.
trial in a few weeks, so hopefully we'll film that one. But
Hopefully I'm out of town.
until next time.